Hi everyone. Today I am continuing to use the So Many Stars bundle. I've made 2 videos so far. This is the 3rd. I have made so many projects with this bundle that it was hard to put into one video, and I thought, well, which one will I make a video about? But they're all so cute, and I thought I'm just gonna make more videos. So hopefully you're not tired of the So Many Stars bundle. It is a really great bundle, and I have to admit that I like the dies more than the stamps. Not that I don't like the stamps, I do. But if you can only get one, get the dies. But the stamps are great if you can get them both because they coordinate nicely and they're really a beautiful stamp set. You've got nice sentiments for Christmas and a large collection of stars. So what can be bad? But the dies are just amazing. There's so many and you can do so many things with them, and they added so many details to these dies. You've got the stars, of course, but you've also got these little filler points that can go inside the points of the stars, and then these little ruffles that can kind of come on the outside of the stars. And it's just, and this one is really fun, this like swirly star die. It's just a big bundle of stars, and it's great. It's called So Many Stars for a reason. The dies are called Stitched stars because of the stitching, which is a great accent too. So hopefully you'll check out my other videos on the stars. This one is going to focus on these little boxes, and you can make just about any shape into a box by adding a side. So I thought I would just go through that process with you and show you how to make these little star boxes. Now I'm going to use them as ornaments on my tree. I always have a paper ornament every year that I put on the tree. It's a collection of them. If you go to my blog, bethspapercuts.com, you'll see throughout the years the different ornaments that I made with different Stampin' Up products. There was a bow maker and different things, that I've made into ornaments over the years. So I like to add a new one every year. So this will be my new ones for this year. And I've got a variety. This one has a little scene in it. That's some Christmas gifts. This one has a reindeer, and I think I'm going to put a banner across here that says Merry Christmas. And this one is a solid box, and you can use this as a little treat holder as well. Depends on how you make it. So I'm going to go through how to make these boxes with you. They're actually quite simple. Now I cut out the largest of the star dies, which is this one here. And I've got, if you're going to make a solid box, obviously you would need 2, and if you're going to make a single opening box or an ornament that's open, then you just need 1. Another thing you're going to need is a side piece here, and so depending upon if you're going to make a closed star box or an open one, you would change the dimensions a little bit. So if you're going to make a 2-sided box, then you need a strip of cardstock 1.5 inches wide, and if you're going to do a single-sided one like this one, then you would only need it to be 1.25 inches wide. So that's your differences. And now cardstock only goes to 11 inches, so you're going to do the full 11 inches. Now if you have 12-inch cardstock, it's not going to really help you any because you need a little more than 12 inches. So don't bother cutting up your 12 by 12 cardstock. Use that for your scrapbooking pages. It's precious. so cut up your 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and you have 1.5 inches across, and then cut the the full length, 1.5 inches full length, which would be 11 inches, and then you need another piece about 5 inches. This is a little bigger than I need, about 5 inches, and I'm going to show you how to score that. So I have one that I didn't score yet, and we're going to do that together. So this is 1.25 inches because it's going to be for an open box, and I'll show you what we do. Alright, so hopefully you can see this end. My camera doesn't show the whole width of my paper trimmer here, so hopefully you can. I wanted to make sure you can see the numbers here. So this is 1.25 inches, and I need a score line at 1/4. So I'm going to put it, when I do just small measurements, I tend to do it to the left side for some reason. So I'm going to put this at 1.25 inches, or at 1 inch, sorry, because then I know that what's hanging over is 1/4 because my cardstock is 1.25 inches. And I like this new trimmer because before there was no stopping here, so you couldn't go up against it, it would just go sliding through. So now it has a nice little edge there. So I've got that, and I'm going to score it So I've got this little lip of 1/4 of an inch. And next I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna score it every 1.5 inches. And how I got that 1.5 inches, in case you're making a box out of something else, is I just measured the point of the star and it's 1.5 inches. So that's the only reason why we're doing 1.5 inches. So we're gonna go 1.5 inches and score. So then you'll have to move it 1.5 inches, which would be to 3, and score. And then just keep going down all the way 1.5 inches, all the way down. Let me open my swing arm because now I'm past, which means I have to turn it this way because my numbers are over here. So let me bring it down to this end for you. All right, where was I at? I think I just did the 6th one, right? I did the one at 6. And now I need to do the one at 7.5. And then 9. And 10.5, which leaves me a tiny little lip at the end here of about 1/2 inch. Okay, so that was simple enough, right? Now the next thing you want to do is you want to add some tear tape along this lip. And I do it before cutting, because if you cut your notches and then add the tear tape, it's harder for you to then, you know, cut those little tiny pieces of tear tape. So go ahead and tear tape the whole length. And it's just about the exact width of tear tape. Tear tape is about 1/4 inch thick. It might hang over just a tiniest bit, and I just, you know, fold it over. Okay, so you've got this. Leave the backing on it, and then you're going to cut notches. And you want your notches to be kind of severe, like kind of wide. So you've got these little points like this, all down your cardstock here. Okay. So there's this. You also want to add a little bit of tear tape on this little flap. Okay. Now you're going to peel off your tear tape now, or fold them in there, get them all nice and folded. You can peel these off segment by segment or peel them all off, whatever works for you. I'm going to peel them off segment by segment. So that you're going to take your star and place it all the way up to that point, kind of behind the star. Don't leave yourself a huge overlap, or my 1.5 inch measurement will be wrong. So you kind of want to go behind the stitching there and press down and then bend. And so now I'm going to take this adhesive off and stick, woo, staticky, and stick that down. And you're going to go around your star. Every once in a while, kind of burnish it so it stays. Now you can use liquid adhesive on these, but then you have to wait for it to dry. It's so hard to hold on to it. I love the tear tape because it's just like, it's stuck. I can let go. But if you like the liquid adhesive, you know, you can use that too. I just think this tear tape is so easy, except getting it off sometimes. When you cut it into a fine point like that, it's hard to get an angle to pull up. I really can't get it off. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'm going to go around my star with this on fast forward so you don't have to watch me going all the way around the star, but when I add the second piece of paper, cardstock, I will come back and explain what I'm doing there. Okay, I'm going to add this second strip. So as you can imagine, the reason why I like this little lip is because we're going to start our next one on it. Okay, so I didn't cut a shallow enough little V here, so I'm just going to trim up this little piece there. The last one is the toughest. Kind of tuck it in there and fold it down. Okay, that's it for my star. Now you want to take your bone folder and go in and press these down really good. Okay, so now you've got your star. I was a little wonky. It's hard to do things when you're on a video. I got off a little bit on my star. Okay, so now you want to clean up that inside if you're going to see it. You don't have to worry about it on the closed box, but when we're going to do the open box, we don't want to see all that little overlap. So I cut myself another star, and it's the same size. Now that's not going to fit because, of course, when you added this sides in, you took up some of the space. So these stars with this collection have stitching on them, and I cut just to trim it down at the stitching. So I just took my paper snips and cut along the stitching to get rid of the stitching, which then made my star slightly smaller. There we go. If you're wondering what this paper is from, it's actually from a bundle of products that come in the, let's see, which do I want to be on top? This one? Come in the holiday catalog, and it's like a product suite bundle. You have to get the entire bundle to purchase it. It's called Most Wonderful Time of the Year, and it's really full of pretty things. And it's called a product medley, I suppose I should say, not a bundle. It comes with papers, stickers, stamps, dies. Grabbed the wrong one. There's a ribbon. What else is in there? The paper all has foil on it. It's really pretty. Oh, there's even little star accents. So I decided to use that for this one. So I was looking for things that were small enough to go inside of the star. It's not a huge star. Nice size for an ornament. Okay. So then, because I took those stitching off, I can slip that in there, tuck it down. Still a tight fit, but not bad. Oops. Now, because I was a little wonky putting my star together, I went off on that one side. This one corner is a little tight. See how I messed up that one corner over here? So it's showing on the inside, but we're going to hopefully cover that with our embellishments. Okay, so it is important to get your outside really nice. Sometimes when I do a video, I'm just so nervous. I messed up a little bit. So my, see, my corner on this one is just not great. So then it kind of made it thinner. Okay, but I'm going to get over it, as you get the idea. All right, so now in that same Most Wonderful Time product medley, there is, I'll just show you the stamps real quick. There's a stamp set called Most Wonderful Time, and there's this little tree here, and it's a great size. This one's too big to fit inside the star, but this one fits inside the star. And these little presents here are what I used on this one. So we're going to do this. And I already stamped and punched, or die cut them out, because I didn't want you to have to wait for that. I got like the darker tree. Well, yeah, the darker tree. And I cut out a bunch of presents, so I can just pick a few. Let's see, let's do a tall one. Here's a tall one and a short one. Let's do, maybe I'll do a red and green tall one. So many choices. Maybe we'll do that. Okay. Now these little red rhinestones are from the annual catalog, and they're fun for adding ornaments to your Christmas tree. So I'm just gonna do that. I think a lot of these are going to be covered by the presents, so we'll just stop there. And this product medley, the Most Wonderful Time product medley, has these little gold stars, so that's a fun little addition to the top of our tree. Okay, there we go. And now I put these down with dimensionals, and how I did that was, the first one was the tree, so he was easy. I can see I used a scrap. It's got something else on the back. Alright, the tree just goes in the back. You can put it right in the center if you want to. Right there. Now next you're going to layer your scene around it. So I'm going to use this gift box, and I want it to stand up even further. So I'm going to stack my dimensionals. So I've got one layer, and I'm actually going to make them 2 layers thick. And we're going to put that one off to the one side, so he sticks up even further from the tree. And then this one, you guessed it, is going to be 3 layers thick. Now when I was a little girl, my mother had in the kitchen this scene of, it was a house, like the inside of a house, the interior with the walls removed, so you're looking in, you can see like the different rooms, and you can see different things going on in the different rooms. And it was the kit she said she got, and you cut out different parts, like there was a bathroom, and you cut out the bathtub and made it pop out even further, and then there was recessed, you know, different things recessed and different things sticking out. And she cut them all out from this kit and layered them. So cute, and I wish we still had it. It was such a fun little thing to look at. You just, every time you looked at it, you saw a different detail in a different room. And there were, I remember the bubbles in the bathroom. That's why I was thinking there's a bubble bath going on, and you could see heights, different bubbles coming up and down. I just love that thing. And so this makes me think of that, just the different layering of the boxes. And I've done that a few times on some cards because it reminds me of this thing that my mom had in our kitchen, and I wish that she still had it. And she doesn't even know what I'm talking about when I ask her. So, you know what I forgot to do is I forgot to punch the holes. So let's do that real quick. It's easier to do this before you've decorated. You want to get as close to the top as you can, and like I said, it's easier to do that before you've decorated. Now I'm using this ribbon here from the holiday catalog. It's really fun. It's like yarn, but with some pretty little ruffle to it, and I'm going to thread that through. Now it's hard to thread yarn through a little hole, right? So I have these little dental flossers, and I was given a tip on how to do these little dental flossers by one of my customers, and I use them all the time. I probably mentioned her whenever I use them, but it's these little gum flossers, and I think it's for people with braces or dentures to get to thread floss through your dentures or your braces, and so that's what they're for. So it's by your toothpaste in your floss aisle. But if you just stick the yarn through that little large loop, you can pull it through. Isn't that amazing? And you only need one, but they come in a pack, so I hand them out sometimes, or you know, you lose them, they're kind of small. Alright, so I'm going to tie a bow. And this can be hung on my tree. Now, I don't know how you hang ornaments on your tree. I have little wire ornament hangers, so I didn't bother adding an ornament hanger to this one, but you can use baker's twine or something, or maybe loop this bigger to make an ornament hanger. I forgot this little banner across the front. That is also from that product medley. The product medley, here it is. It's all in this little packet. See, this is the ribbon it comes with and the stars. It's really a pretty grouping of products. And look at the deer. I was going to use these deer, but they're too big to go inside the stars, but aren't they pretty? And anyway, this product medley's great. Take a look at it. It comes with a bunch of things, candy canes, really fun papers, really awesome. But we're going to use this banner and one of the stamp sets from The Most Wonderful Time, the Oh Christmas Tree. So I'm going to hang this on my Christmas tree. Now this is a sticker, so it has adhesive on it. And I just laid it across, hoping that it was going to stick to my tree or my star. Now, if you think it needs a little help, you can add a little bit of a bead of glue just across these two little areas. I'm going to see how it goes without it, but I'm going to add a bead of glue if needed. So there is the open star, and here's the other one. Now this one I did a little differently in layering my pieces. Instead of adding bunches of dimensionals, these are actually strips of cardstock. I'll pull one out so you can see. There. And I added flaps. See these little flaps? And so they all have that. There's 3 layers of these little things with flaps. And I added adhesive to the flap and then glued them inside. So that's how this one works. Otherwise it's the same, and this deer and those trees are from the Still Scenes bundle. So take a look through your stamps. I bet you've got a lot of different scenes that you can build for this star box. Now let's do the closed one. I'm going to fast forward through putting the sides on because you've seen me do that. And then when I put the second side on, then I'll slow down again so you can see that. Okay, so here is the one-sided box again. And so for this one, you're then going to tear off your second flap. Remember how this one was 1.5 inches and it had that 1/4 inch lip on both sides instead of just the one like the open-sided star. Okay, so now try to get your corners overlapping each other like so. See how they've got these overlaps like that. And if you've got any points that you didn't cut your notches shallow enough, go ahead and trim those up. See how this one's hanging over the side a little bit, so trim that off. Okay. And maybe you noticed when I sped the video up that I cut my hole for the ornament hanger in before doing this part. Okay, now you're going to carefully line up your star. And then take your bone folder and go over it. So this would be fun. You can do multiples of these and make a mobile hanging over like maybe a baby's crib. You can make lots of little ornaments like I said, or if you wanted to make it a treat box, what you would do is that last one that had a lip, I should have showed you before I glued it down. Don't put adhesive on that last little leg of the star or the lip, and then you can you know, that way the lip helps keep it closed. You tuck the lip under to keep it closed, but it's not adhered. So you'd have one of these little areas that could fold down and you could stuff in, I don't know, M&Ms or something, Hershey Kisses, and then lift it up and then tuck the flap in, and that's how it would be an openable box. So just leave the adhesive off of one side. Alright, to decorate this one, I cut out some holly from the, oh, what is it called? Christmas is Gleaming? Christmas Gleaming. It's this holly here. I embossed it in copper and then watercolored it, and I decided to not, I did it ahead of time because this is a long video to watch. And then I'm using these copper foil stars. This is also in that Christmas Gleaming suite of products in the holiday catalog. So look for these copper stars. They're beautiful. And I put it down with just a glue dot right in the center. And yes, that means that the rest are not glued down, but that is okay, I feel, because we're going to add adhesive on these that are going to help hold it down. So now where's my hanger? There it is up there. So that's my top. So I'm going to add my holly berry. And then because I'm adding a whole bunch of liquid adhesive on here, it's going to help hold that copper star down. And I'm just going to add these, kind of overlapping. And they're kind of curled up, so they have a little dimension to them. That's because I watercolored them. And then the Merry Christmas is also from that Christmas Gleaming, and I already stamped it and cut it out, and I put that down with a couple dimensionals. And just kind of tuck that however you like. There we go. And then a ribbon for this, I'm not sure what I want to use. Let me see. I think I will use this. It's called Seaside Spray, and it's, I got a metallic shine to it, although it has a silver shine. Maybe I'll go with this one. It says Merry Christmas right on it. How perfect. So again, grab that little flosser to help you thread this through. And find that hole. The hardest thing is finding the other, but because it's solid, it goes right through. And thread it through. See how fun that is with this little silly flosser? Okay, so then you're just going to tie a little bow. So I hope you like my little star boxes. Some of you may have been around long enough to remember that we've had a kit that made stars before, and I think it was even called So Many Stars. It's a long time ago. I've been a demonstrator for 15 years, so I don't know how many years ago that kit was from, but maybe you have it. If you have it, let me know. So I hope that you'll join me on Facebook. I have an idea sharing group called Beth's Paper Cuts Idea Sharing Group that you have to join it, but I approve everyone, and you can post pictures on it as well, not just me. So you can share what you're putting inside your star box. Oops, it wasn't quite dry yet. Show me what you've decorated on your star, or what you're putting on the inside of your star. Here is my Christmas tree one, and here's the deer. Whole bunch here. I hope that you like it. I hope you'll look at this So Many Stars bundle. It's awesome. I have a frequent buyer rewards program at my blog, bethspapercuts.com, and if you buy with me, I give you points and you can pick out free stamps as you go along. Maybe that Hostess stamp set that you've wanted and never could quite get because it's an earn only, you can choose that. So check out my blog, bethspapercuts.com, and sign up for my newsletter. There's a pop-up and you can sign up for my newsletter, and join me at Facebook. I'd love to share ideas. Thanks so much for watching.